Yep, verified. Bottom floor. Kitty. Tuxedo. Paw. Whiskers. Shh. Here we go. We're headed to Long John Silver's to get 6 free Hushpuppies. Oh, it is remodeled. I must have just remodeled it. Okay, so there's the Long John Silver's app. First, you want to go to rewards. And right under See All Awards, you have 2 different offers right now. One is a welcome offer. So when you sign up for the app, you can get the welcome basket for $5. And then we're doing the birthday free Hushpuppies 6-piece. I think the welcome offer, trying to see, I don't want to tap on it because I don't know if it has a countdown. I think it's chicken and fish and French fries. All right, so not everything in life is free, but the birthday free Hushpuppies 6-piece, you have to use it before a certain time. This one's before the 27th of October. It says, happy birthday, enjoy a free side of Hushpuppies with $1 minimum purchase. Access your promo code by clicking the print coupon button. To redeem, add a side of 6 Hushpuppies to your cart and apply the unique promo code. Discount is limited to 1 per order. Okay. All right, it's a Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. About 5:28 in the PM, as in post-meridium. There's Kitty, or it's actually Critter. It looks like a cat. On the back it says, I just gotta do this every time. It says to live, laugh, and smell good, mirror critters. So he's a mirror critter, we'll just put it that way. All right, it's gonna be 92 degrees Fahrenheit inside the car. I'm resetting accumulated info right now. It's resetting now. This is the Please Subscribe show. I'm Cole Spivey. I got to run through the song, well, I guess it's the original song, Making Fun. It's called Making Fun. It's the one that goes, there is no telepathy. You have no proof, you see. That kind of thing. I think the first verse, which I wrote down, I think a couple days ago, it's I hear a voice in the shower. It's after hours.
I think it's At Night After Hours. Anyway, I'm still working on it. Anyway, I went through that a couple of times, maybe 4 or 5 times, which is weird, you know, because I used to do it every day before I'd go out for like a year almost. So I got a lot of practice time in, and sometimes I would start late morning and then go until 4, sometimes taking breaks, you know, snack breaks. All right, so, you know, I don't know. Linda said she might sing with me on it. She's definitely not Stevie Nicks, and it's definitely not the song. Is it Love and Making Fun? Making fun and making love and fun, making love and fun. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. No, it's not that. Cunningham, Bucky Cunningham. Okay, sorry, I'm a little stumped trying to drive and think. Okay, this is a portion of the show. Let's switch to that.
You make loving fun.
His name's Bucky Cunningham. God, why is it escaping me? I should know this. He was mostly a British band, Fleetwood Mac was. I don't listen to them as much because I feel like they're casting spells on me because they're so dang good. I can hear it. I'll just have to look it up and tell you what it is later. Sorry. I know Stevie Nicks part, so I want to say Bucky Cunningham. Okay, I'm getting it wrong. Okay, this is a portion of the show where you get to watch me pick up food at restaurants and drop it off at your doorstep. Thanks for tuning in. And please subscribe. If I haven't already put that up there, it would come up here. And we do have a PayPal if you'd like to help out and fund the channel. The band is taking a break for a while, I guess. We've been working, and we've never toured once, and we've never done a live show, but we have recorded, so, or that kind of thing. Anyway, all right, we're on our way. Sorry about that. Lindsey Buckingham, I should know that. And one of the not characters, they're real people. One of the band members was named Fleetwood, right? That's where they got it from. One of the last names was Fleetwood. Lindsey Buckingham was the guitar player. That's amazing. That probably helped write that song, which is Making Love and Fun, right? Was one of their songs. I think they went off to California too to become. I think Lindsey Buckingham wanted to become a better musician, so he went out there to learn it better. I guess Laurel Canyon area, and then Stevie Nicks went with him, of course. But I don't know their history that well. You can obviously tell. All right. Okay, so it was
You Make Love and Fun.
Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, and Christine McVie. One of them was a female keyboardist. She passed recently. Lindsey Buckingham was the master guitar player, and then of course Stevie Nicks was the vocals. Probably one of her best bands, secretly. A gem to be remembered. And yes, they do cast spells on you when you listen to their music. It's that powerful. It puts you in a kind of a hypnotic state. You're like, what? Rumors especially, which is one of my favorite albums. Dreams is a great one. Thunder only happens when it's raining. That song right there. Okay, so I'm really critical, so I listen to my stuff. And I always think of the same thing, and I've thought of this over the years about music, is I think music is always a choice. It's always 100%. It's never cut off. And there's kind of a perfection quality. And the more that it becomes that, the more pleasant it is to listen to, if that makes any sense. That's what I would say. It's always full force, even if it's quiet. It's always, that is the chord, that's the one I chose, that's the one I'm going to stick with, and we're going to play it that way. Probably other people would maybe say differently. But I'm talking about recording artists in the studio and things like that, probably. It's that thing. Like, go with this choice, be 100% with it, and be confident. Yeah. And that may be music. All right. Panera Bread on its way. Well, we're going to go pick it up. 5:44 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.7 miles for the pickup. And now I'm going to show you the example of music. Okay, that was just me kind of just being real. Here's what I think music would be. Panera Bread. 5:43 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.7 miles for the pickup. Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. And who am I to keep you down? All right, Panera Bread on its way, 6:03 arrival, 11 minutes, 3.5 miles for the delivery. All right, that's a very, very tail end of Dreams, and they do block content on Fleetwood Mac, because we did it before. I was like, where'd the video go? They'd even mute it? Back in the day, YouTube would mute it if you played a song like that, but you would still have the visual. Nope. How dare you? We're not only going to take away the sound of your video for playing Fleetwood Mac's Dreams, but we're also going to cut the visual. So when I went back, it was just said content blocked. So they're touchy about Fleetwood Mac. Whether it goes through, it probably will. I've seen a few that will. Plus, I found this song on YouTube. It's a contradiction in terms on why they let that particular one, because Fleetwood Mac probably is connected in some way to that recording, whichever one it is. It's this one right here. I was listening for the guitar in Dreams, so I'm gonna have to listen to it again and what the guitar's doing. Lindsey Buckingham knew the guitar better than most, but I do hear the drums, and it is a very good recording. It's dangerously hypnotic. And I noticed also with what they did with Nikki, Stevie Nicks. I called her by her nickname. Stevie Nicks, that was secretly her nickname by me. Stevie Nicks, it seems like she was, there's like layering of her voice on top of her voice as she's singing the tail end of You'll Know. But then it's also in there. I'd have to find where in the lyrics where she's singing underneath. It's like almost she's making gasping, not gasping noises, but it's like it's like soothing music. She's making music with her vocals, because the vocal cords are music. It can be music. So she's using it as an instrument underneath her singing of the lyrics, meaning she's her own backup singer, and that I think is what they did. And they replayed it, so it was a recording artist that did all this. They layered her vocals underneath her singing. You could hear it. It might have been what was it, Christine on the keyboards. It could have been, but it sounds like Stevie Nicks, because you know her voice well. People do. She's also a pretty good actress. She's on American Horror Story. Plays like, I don't know, a witch. But it is interesting to listen to. Let me listen to it again. And I also, let me see, I used to sing this in the shower all the time, secretly, during my second marriage, shortly before I got divorced. And I was asking myself, because we would go to church all the time, and when I was singing it, I was like, why am I singing this? It was very strange. It was like her voice was coming out of the water and all this weird stuff, because it's hypnotic. It follows you. So you say you want your freedom, and who am I to keep you down? The word keep is in there. It's only right. And when she hits right, man, boom. That's when you go, give it over to the female vocalist right there, because she hits right. It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. Anyway, it's an amazing song. All right, it's on What You Had and What You Lost. She goes, ooh. I'm just wondering if that's her. That's been recorded, like laid over, or if it's Christine McVie, who was on the keyboards. Pretty sure I would say it was Stevie Nicks, and they just pre-recorded it and then laid it under. On what you had, ooh, and what you lost, ooh. I don't think she's doing it at the same time. I think it's almost overlapped. Pretty sure it is. Unless she time traveled slightly and then was able to do it that way. Which I don't think she time traveled. She might have, though. Okay, so John McVie is a champion on Dreams, as well as the drummer. That boom, 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 boom on the bass, which keeps you kind of locked into the whole song. I'm still listening for the guitar on it, though. I'm trying to be like highly critical on some of these listens, and that one's a really good one to pick apart. So John McVie is the bass player, and he has a very, it's almost like it's when the instrument belongs in the song, you know, there's no doubting it at all. And these songs come out of nothing, and then they become a mountain right in front of you. And it's like that bass choice, they were together as a band, you know. Same with the drums, it all is in unison and harmony, yet all kind of separate in a way. You can listen to all of them. I've talked about that before, about how it's all separate but the same, and they all belong together. Is it a 1970s recording? All right, got one at Dollar General, 618 arrival, 6 minutes, 2.7 miles for the pickup. And I just got some information that Dreams, which is on the Rumors album, it was remastered this year, 2025. They remastered it again. All right, so I did listen for the guitar. It seems to be mimicking the drum. So it's just going ching, 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 ching. Not too crazy to learn on the guitar. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I'm still listening for it though. And also it's a well planned out song. If you ever want to get a band together and say, hey, listen to how Dreams is laid out. It's a well planned out song. There's not a note that is wasted. It's that kind of song. And be prepared to listen to it more than once, because you'll want to. I don't think I've ever gotten tired of Dreams. The idea of it, you know, and the actual listening of it. I don't think I ever have. But I have, you know, I think every band, I think maybe but Led Zeppelin can kind of wear on you a little bit. But you know, Fleetwood Mac doesn't really. And I'm not going to compare them to Taco Bell, but you know how you never get tired of Taco Bell? Or I never have. I'm not going to say that they're Taco Bell. They're like a fine dining. But what I mean is, you never get tired of fine dining. You know, and that's what Fleetwood Mac is. I don't think any of their songs are Taco Bell. That'd be the Ramones. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just love the beginning part of it. So you say you want your freedom, and who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play how you feel it and listen to the sound. Listen to... I go back to the lyrics, sorry. It's the word carefully, so she uses the English language. Listen to the sound carefully of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. Players only love you when they're playing, And women, they will come and they will go. Do they really? Yeah, they do.
Oh, they're wanting a 12 count of Coca-Cola and they're out of Coke. There's a hidden message to Stevie. This joke. There's always Coke somewhere.
All right, sorry, I had to turn off dreams for a little while. The weird things happening when you listen to certain type of musicians, like certain bands. Like, it seems like the bands from the 70s, everything just goes wrong. But yet you're like, this is a great song. In this kind of field, you get kind of paranoid. I blame other rock artists for weird things that happen to me while I'm trying to... Never mind. I shouldn't blame anybody. It's a great song. But anyway, maybe that's good. I said a few things about it. Great backup vocals. All that stuff's wonderful. It's a perfect song. We'll leave it at that for now. And I need to focus on... Proverb says no talk during work, I guess you could say. Boy, that works out for me, though, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, kitty? Sorry, they were out of Coca-Cola and strawberry Fanta at the Dollar General for that possible pickup. 12 packs of Coca-Cola, which probably go pretty quick because of lunches. Same with the Fanta strawberry. Oh boy, slow blue ahead. Blue sushi. Hopefully they picked up on speed. 640, 43, arrival. 2 minutes, 0.7 miles for the pickup. Hoping they're going to be quick. And that was kind of language. But I'm hoping they're going to be quick. And this is the parking lot with the big billboard. Which is kind of cool. There. There's the billboard. Alright, this is where Blue is. Time coming in, I don't know yet, but I hope. And then one time they had me waiting for 20 minutes, but it's like a Wednesday. So. Alright, she said there was parking on Barden. I was able to pick up the order. I'm going to check that one real quick. There you go. Does that look like something that'd be on a noir film, this alleyway right here? I don't know. Alright, Blue got quick. Going to the Omni for the drop-off. 7 arrival, 9 minutes, 2.2 miles for the delivery. Yeah, it's from Drown. I think that's what... That's Siamese Dream? Yeah, it'd probably... Yeah, it'd have to be Siamese Dream. I don't think it's Gish. No, it's Siamese Dream. Siamese Dream. Drown is a song by American alternative rock band The Smashing Pumpkins from the soundtrack to the 1992 Cameron Crowe film Singles.
The song debuted during the Gish tour and was written not long after the record was released. The first take of the song was recorded at Waterfront Studios, which belonged to Lenny Kravitz, who also signed with Virgin Records. The song became a moderate radio hit in mid-1992 and gave the band significant exposure just before work commenced on Siamese Dreams. Drown was to be released as a commercial single, but as Billy Corgan explained, "We wanted it to be a single. We were pushing for it. I was even willing to make it a video. Radio stations were playing it, and when it came time for the third single, they said Screaming Trees, and I was like, Screaming Trees? But what label is Alice in Chains on, and what label are Screaming Trees on? Epic, which is the label that put on the soundtrack, and that's what killed the song. Nonetheless, the song was given promotional single, then becoming their highest charting single at the time, peaking at number 24 on the U.S. Alternative Songs chart."
That looks strange. I thought it went further this way. But it just goes right there. Huh. Look at some of the plugs right there on the side right here. Strange. Burning, 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 Siamese Dream, released in 1993. Gish was 91. Sprinkle kisses on my face. You're dead, she said. I think it was originally Sprinkle Kisses on my head. Because it rhymes with You're dead, she said. Sprinkle kisses on my head. This would be the Omni. Yep. All right, got one at Taco Bell on our way. 7-Eleven arrival, 5 minutes, 1.3 miles for the pickup. All right, Wyatt C. Hedrick started to build this post office for Fort Worth in 1931. It went into effect in 1933. They used Beaux-Arts, which is Renaissance, French neoclassicism, and Baroque. They got murals inside. Yeah, put on some Smashing Pumpkins, Drown. Don't forget to sign up for Walmart sponsored, whatever that is. It's called a Walmart Plus. Subscribe to also Warhawk 220. There's Billy Corgan. In the back is Darcy Retzky. That's Jimmy Chamberlain, the drummer. And James Iha. Or do they say Eha? So the song shifts in time signature between 4 and 4, which I got first, and then 6 and 4 and 7 and 4, according to Google. But I haven't asked Billy himself. But it changes. The time signature does. It starts on a 4/4 for sure. That's what I nailed whenever I was like, yeah, I got it. It's a 4/4 time signature. But then it switches to 6/4 and then to 7/4. So yesterday the sky, that part, it goes like this. think to 7. The drums do, at least. Jimmy would know. Maybe 6 though. Yesterday the sky was. Anyway. Well, it changes, yeah, in rhythm at that part. All right, this Taco Bell's on its way. 7:22 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.8 mile for the delivery. There's more notes to fill. That's why the time signature changes. So there's more notes in the measure, or they call the chord note. I'm learning this recently. I've decided to start deviling into music theory. So you have a measure, and in a four time exchange, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is how Drown starts. All those notes can fit in that measure. But whenever Jimmy, the genius, Chamberlain, he brings in a bunch of notes more, so the time signature has to increase so the notes can fit. And there's more stresses on the notes. That's how you can tell the time signature changes, is the stress on the notes. Go into a parking garage. I might be that dude right there by the staircase. Yep. Oh, nope, it's this dude. Alright, turn out to be that dude. Man, that's a vigilant parking garage, though. Like, straight line. There he is. Yeah, I was like, okay, goodness gracious. But, I was able to find the dude. So time signature has to do with stressing. It has to do with when the accented chord happens. That's probably when it goes into a 6/6 or a 6/7. Sounds like a 6/7. You traveled very far, like a star. All right, Coco Shrimp. 7:32 arrival, 4 minutes, 0.8 miles for the pickup. So just like Shakespeare, you have a feminine ending and you have a masculine ending. So in Drown, if you know anything about accenting, because you play Shakespeare like music, but it'll go bam 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 bam. It has a feminine ending right there. Probably because of Darcy. He does it one time so far. I'm re-listening to it. Then he goes back into that same rhythm and keeps that same rhythm until the time signature changes later on. Billy's like, BS, man. Right. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right on that one. That's what I'm hearing. It's cool because it kind of sticks out a little bit. So it makes it genius, you would say. Because it doesn't stay exactly the same. I just missed a turn right there. But look, there's Vault Cowtown lesson demos and sales for boat lift sales and installations. Wouldn't have got that. And there's also a collection of food trucks right over here. I'm also thinking because the tone changes, it still might be in the same time signature. It is in the same time signature. Changes the tone. Does it a few other times too in the actual professional recording. All right, this coconut shrimp's on its way. 7:51 arrival, 10 minutes, 3.8 miles for the delivery. Switched over to rhinoceros, which I believe is from Gish. So the time exchange and rhinoceros, which is on Gish, their first album, I believe released in 1991, but don't quote me. That is a 4/4. Stays with the dan, 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 dan. Because that measure can fit, those four can fit in each measure. Dan, dan, dan. Bam, 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 bam. Dan, dan, dan. Even though the notes change and it goes all over the place, feeling that you're torn apart, it still keeps its signature of 4/4. But if I'm wrong, don't yell at me. Then you have to ask yourself, why did he call it rhinoceros? And she knows. But there's probably a reason why. I always think of Ionesco's Rhinoceros, which is an absurdist story. And it was also a play, at least at Hip Pocket it was. Hip Pocket Theater, which is out here. My friend was in it. Harold. Yeah. Harold got me a teaching job at Trinity Valley. I do appreciate that, Harold. He went to New York. I think he writes sometimes. He releases these pulp noir stories on his Facebook. He's an actor out in New York. Harold Lehman. That's what I always think about when I think about Rhinoceros, the song, even though it's probably about something deep and personal. And she knows, she knows, she knows, she knows, she knows, she knows, she knows. Ooh, I have to pass the threshold of spooky. And of course, Beetlegeese. Beetlegeese, Beetlegeese. Best yard so far. We got many yards to go. Orange cat. All right, next one for Coco Shrimp. 8:14 arrival, 17 minutes, 7.5 miles for the delivery. All right, so the rumor is Billy Corgan played most of the instruments, but not the drums on Gish. That was probably Jimmy Chamberlain for sure. But he did, during the studio recordings, play the bass and did the electric lead guitar solos, and also, of course, vocals to perfect it for that first studio album, because he was the orchestrator and one of the lead men, or the lead guys on Smashing Pumpkins, even though it sounded very different once Darcy left. You know, bands changed their sound. That was a rumor. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what I've heard. So he played several different instruments. I'm sure Jimmy played drums on that. I gotta be dead, because I reviewed Jeff Tweedy's Twilight Override, and I don't even have a music degree, only a theater arts degree. And I'm talking about the Smashing Pumpkins. And I only had a band for a couple of rehearsals in high school called 9 Minutes to Live, which is probably ripping off Trent Reznor's 9 Inch Nails. But we wanted to sound like REM. I'm surely dead, she said. Barry, Barry, Barry. I didn't think it goes exactly that way. Alright, so it's sprinkle all my kisses on your head. And then something else that I have to look up. And then eventually she said, I'm dead. So I got it wrong, sorry. Bury me. I think it goes, sprinkle all my kisses on your head. Stars full of wishes fill our bed. She said, I'm dead. All right, got one at Zaxby's. 8:25 arrival, 6 minutes, 2.4 miles for the pickup. All right, Zaxby's on its way, 8:45, 14 minutes, 8.3 miles for the delivery. Got one at McDonald's, 9:13 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.2 miles for the pick. Ooh, baby, baby. It's like a little baby elephant. There's the iguana. Right, this McDonald's on its way. 9:24 arrival, 4 minutes, 0.4 miles for the delivery. They named the TCU buses the Leeds. Switched over to the Siamese Dream 2011 remastered by Smashing Pumpkins. Are they the Smashing Pumpkins or Smashing Pumpkins? I'm gonna find out. Okay, according to Wiki, it's the Smashing Pumpkins. So they got their THE. You know, I know bygones be bygones and people move on. But can they really not forgive one another, Darcy and Billy? I mean, what's Darcy doing anyway? I don't know. I guess they got another cool bass player though. Yeah, that's true. It'd be disrespectful to the new bass player. Who she's pretty cool too. I've talked about her before. I heard Darcy wanted to be an actress though. The other bass player is Melissa Alf Demois, is how I'm pronouncing it. It's a long name. All right, got one at Papa John's. 10:05 arrival, 7 minutes, 2.1 miles for the pick. Listening to Hummer, Smash Pumpkins on Siamese Dream. I want to say it was released in 1993. Gish was 91 and Siamese Dream was 93. All right, this Papa John's on its way. 10:16 arrival, 5 minutes, 1.4 mile for the delivery. All right, Velvet Taco on its way. 10:28 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.5 mile for the delivery. Listening to 33, Smashing Pumpkins. There's a Tommy Joe Jenkins mural. I don't think he did this one though. Always looks like John Cusack right there. Tucker Boondocks. Right, this Velvet Taco is on its way. 10:55 arrival, 18 minutes, 8.1 miles for the delivery. The 33 is on the third
song on the second disc of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. We're mostly listening to Siamese Dream tonight. I just came across it because they fed it to me. This is the one that I added to Grace, aka Werevlog. It's under Silver F in the screenplay. I didn't put the same name. I did exactly what Scorsese did in Goodfellas by just mentioning it briefly when he said cream in one word. I just put Silver F, which it hints to using that song. But for right now, I'm probably going to listen to Space Boy, and that's about Billy's brother. The first time I heard Space Boy was actually in an independent video. It was like a film at a film festival called the Fort Worth Film Festival. I'm in Fort Worth right now. And I heard that song before. I think I searched it out on Siamese Dream later, and then became more of a Smashing Pumpkins fan. I mean, just to let you know. It's a good song. And some of the reasons why I chose it. Because of Jimmy Chamberlin's genius. And of course, the gothic power of Billy and his force. Which was somewhat kind of like a werewolf, I guess. It's like the lycanthropy curse. What happens is the werewolf hunter Gerald and his companion John Blacksmith, hopefully Post Malone, they are at the gate of Grace Lipon's farm, and Mark, the Uber driver, Pete Davidson maybe, or various, maybe it's a Saturday Night Live actor, I don't know. It gets kind of conned into pushing the car and gear and going through the gate because they're all snickered up on what's in Deacon Blues? Scotch whiskey. Yes, Gerald's favorite Scotch whiskey. Probably given to them by Mark, the Uber driver. And then they break through, and that's when Silver F goes off, and eventually the drum moment, and it crashes through their porch, and they claim mechanical failure to get away with it. But they just simply want an interview with the supposed werewolf Grace Lipon. All right. So it's brilliant. And then, there's like scraping of the gate on the ground, sparks coming up. And I had some crazy ways that I wanted to film it, like bringing in these like huge amps, like a rock concert. I don't know why. I just wanted it to have like a sense of diegetic sound, but also to affect the actors. Kind of something that Coppola would have done in Apocalypse Now. It's in the script. I just haven't sent it. And don't ask me why. Well, really, honestly, to print a script nowadays is probably almost $30. And the only place I can think of sending it is Grim Life Collective. But only because I know they're responsible werewolf movie makers. Because they did Forest Hills. And they were part of that. And they may be able to take care of it. They'd be good keepers of the script. And keepers of the crypt. Keepers of the crypt or keepers of the script. If it ever happens. Let's just say. Now, back to Silver. Bang, bang, you're dead. Hole in your head. 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 Note on the crash or through the porch or through the front porch into the house or almost like the living room of Grace Lipon's farm mansion, you could call it. So I didn't get to add it to the script yet because I have to get the software for my MacBook Pro
for a final draft, but it needs to be there if they get this vlog, which this will be a hidden one because I don't know if they're watching my work vlogs. So when the two officers get there, I was thinking maybe Will Ferrell and someone like him, John C. Reilly, whatever, two older cops. They find out kind of what's going on because they're investigating. They ultimately side with this character named Robert Billings. Yeah, Robert Billings. I was thinking the guy that owns Paramount, Bob Balaban. Yeah, Bob Balaban type, very calm and smooth. Well, he gets there to kind of make a final judgment before they make any type of arrest or anything, and they realize that it's going to be mechanical failure, and the Uber driver should be kept at bay, meaning he should be, let go, and just they don't even get really cited a ticket. And so that happens, okay, and the Robert Billings' occupation is kind of imaginary. It's kind of like bringing in a new type of occupation, which is like almost like a social worker that works alongside of police officers. So I'm bringing in a little police reform in that scene, I guess. Regardless, there's a line that I didn't get to add, and when they want to talk and ask questions to the two that are in the back that are tipsy, which would be Gerald Oldman III, who is the werewolf hunter, obviously Gary Oldman, everybody knows that one. And the second one would be his buddy, John Blacksmith. I was thinking about Post Malone when I wrote it, didn't matter. But he goes over and he says, YouTubes, come over here. I want to add that line. Instead of saying you two, because they both have the YouTube page. That's why they wanted to, they said, well, the reason we were visiting is because we wanted to put him on our YouTube page. So the officer says, YouTubes. That's what he says, YouTubes, on accident. It's almost like a slip of the tongue. He says, YouTubes, come over here. I just thought it'd be funny. It would be, something we could try. I think maybe if it lifted off. Or I'm supposed to say when it lifts off. Siamese dream. Rocket. If you're gonna do anything, you're gonna rock it. That's what the video looks like. Some of it. A rocket. Siamese dream. My shows one you can check on gas prices, so we're gonna lower that down to $2.89 by using a reward system on 7-Eleven, which is where we're at. You put in the ID and you make that 10 cents. Okay. Found a song on Gish called There It Goes. I don't remember it completely. And also there's one by Darcy sings on a Siamese Dream. I think it's called Daydream. The one I'm listening to now is There It Goes. It's actually from Pisces Iscariot. So it's not from Gish. I don't know why it looks, this is why it's deceiving. It looks like, when I was looking at it, it looked like it said Gish. But it's actually from Pisces Iscariot, which is a compilation album. Pisces Iscariot came out in 1994. It's a compilation album. But there is a deluxe version, I believe, that was released in 2012 that has it on there. So I don't know if it's on the Pisces Iscariot version. I'll check the original. Doing the research, it seems like 2012 demo mix is what they call There It Goes. It's pretty good. Kind of sounds a little Swan too, because I know he started a band called Zwan. It's a pretty good song, but it was on the 2012 demo mix. Pisces Iscariot. The purple light. The purple light.